friend, this is Mai with Creative Vibes, and today I want to share 3 benefits of music therapy when working in early childhood education. Of course, there's so many more benefits than the 3 I'm listing here, but these are a few big ones that I think are important to touch on. They are offering opportunities to learn through play, building self-esteem and free choice, and enhancing awareness of others. So first I want to give a little overview on social emotional development in children from around ages 2 to about 5 or 6, and then I'll share why I feel these 3 goals are most important in this population. So, children begin developing autonomy around 18 months old, and this will continue to develop throughout the next year or so. They'll start calling attention to the things that they notice, to the people around them, and this is called joint attention. Based on their attachment style, this is when their personality really starts to show. They learn pretend play around 18 to 24 months, but they won't be able to play in a cooperative, imaginative way with another period. Being in a preschool environment can help the child learn to manipulate their emotions into a more socially accepted gesture, and some of them may develop some more possessiveness and self-awareness at that time. Around 30 to 54 months, children really start to understand impulse control, gender roles, and peer relationships. They'll really start to test limits on what types of behaviors are accepted and how much autonomy they're allowed. They might start exaggerating or limiting their emotions to be more socially acceptable, but at this point, they may not fully understand why that's happening exactly. This is a great time to focus on a balance between setting limits and giving choices, establishing their sense of initiative while also decreasing anxiety from loss of control. And at this point, they're also able to play with about 1 or 2 peers. By 5 or 6 years of age, the child can follow simple rules and directions, and they also learn adult social skills like giving praise and apologizing for unintentional mistakes. It's really important, I believe, as a music therapist who works in early childhood to understand social emotional development of children. Sometimes I see people, whether they're parents or therapists, expecting things from children when they're just not developmentally ready yet. Understanding what social emotional developmental stages look like will help you formulate goals and objectives that are most beneficial for the group of children or the individual child that you're working with. So, now that we've talked about that, let's talk about my top 3 benefits of music therapy and early childhood education. So, offering opportunities to learn through play. And learning through play is essential in early childhood education. Research shows that play isn't just a bonus, and play plays a key role in childhood development. Children are intrinsically motivated to play, so as a music therapist, I strive to harness that energy in a fun, productive way. I think we've all had experiences when we were in school where we were last minute cramming anything that we could into our brains to pass the exam, and only to find out a few weeks later that we don't remember any of it. So that's called surface learning. When we encourage learning through play from a young age, we can actually encourage deeper learning or learning to learn skills. So this is when we're able to connect the factual knowledge that we learn and then apply it to our real life experiences to grasp the implications of what we're learning. Learning through play falls on a spectrum, whether it's free play, guided play, or games, with an emphasis on child agency. Anyone who works with children knows that many of them want control over their lives and how things happen around them. As music therapists, it's our job to balance both child agency, like listening to their interests and giving them choices, while also maintaining structure and safety for them and whoever else may be in the group with them. Learning through play typically is identified through 5 characteristics. Experienced as joyful, helps children find meaning in what they're doing or learning, involves active, engaged, minds-on thinking, involves iterative thinking, like testing out hypotheses, and involves social interaction. Music therapy is great in this aspect because music and instruments are already fascinating and fun for children and adults. By utilizing music games, instruments, visuals, and sounds, we're creating an environment that's not only enjoyable, but helping their minds develop and adapt to their world. It's creating an environment where they're confident and creative, but also within a structure that helps them be aware of the impact that they have on others. Music therapy is also well known as a great complementary therapy, especially if you're already utilizing, speech therapy and occupational therapy or physical therapy. Oftentimes, music therapists will collaborate with the rest of the treatment team to either co-treat or work on similar goals in our own unique ways to encourage that deeper learning. So number 2 is building self-esteem. And I think, to me, personally, this is the most important one. As a resource-oriented music therapist, and let me know if you want to learn more about that in the comments, it's important to me that we focus on each individual's strengths and abilities rather than what they're lacking. Putting myself in their shoes, I remember being a child and never really feeling like I had a voice or that adults cared about my opinion or that what I wanted mattered, and that led to a whole plethora of problems in my teenage and adult years. So it's so much more than just feeling good about yourself. It's also about being confident in your decisions, trusting yourself, believing you're capable, not being afraid to make mistakes, believing in your worth, and not outsourcing that to the people around you. Being able to validate yourself and not rely on external validation, the list goes on and on. And the foundation of all of that can start in early childhood. So music therapy is great for this because of how flexible and child-led it can be while also maintaining a safe and structured environment. So this can look like so many different things, whether it's giving each child in the group an opportunity to lead the group in a drumming activity, being the leader in freeze and go, or deciding what song or intervention we're going to do next. And last but not least is enhancing awareness of others. And when I say this, I'm not just talking about visual awareness. This is also about encouraging empathy and compassion for each other as well. As we discussed earlier in this video, in social emotional developmental stages, children are aware of others and they can call attention to things that they see around 12 to 18 months. Children are naturally empathetic and compassionate, and they actually show signs of empathy as early as 15 months of age. But they really won't start collaborating with more than 1 to 2 peers until around 5 or 6 years of age. So with music therapy, we can capitalize on this and create an environment where each child feels happy, confident, and supported. Taking turns being the leader or playing the coveted instrument, listening to directions from the leader or therapist on how we play our instruments, passing instruments around are all examples of how we can support enhancing awareness of others in a safe and structured environment. There have been so many times in my sessions where I've had a child be upset because something didn't go their way, but I've also had so many times in my sessions where, because of the supportive container we had created in our groups, that other children in the group made efforts to problem solve and support their peer. When we treat our children with respect, they will treat others with respect. So those are my top 3 benefits of music therapy in early childhood education. Hope that was helpful. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and thanks for watching. See you next time.